In the last video, we tried to investigate y equals 1 over x. We tried to draw this line here, and it turns out to be something like this. Okay, and now in this video, we're going to investigate what happens when x is in the negative realm. So remember, we started out by doing by putting by putting these numbers here into this x here. Okay, and then we got these values here, and then we started plotting these values here. Okay, and the thing is, when x is 1, remember we are trying to investigate this 1 over x. When you put 1 into this x here, the overall thing will be 1. That's why here y is 1. When you put 0.5 into here, the overall thing will get bigger. It will be 2. The thing is, as you head towards the 0 on the positive side, it gets larger and larger. It actually jumps up quite fast. So it would be something like this. It would jump up really fast. If you put a really small number into the x. So this graph ends up looking something like this. I can't draw it properly, but something like this. Okay, and then as you increase in this direction, if you put a big number into x here, 1 over a really big number, let's say 8, 9, 7, 9, 8. Well, the overall thing here will be near 0. It will be 0.00 something, but it won't be 0. It won't be 0 because if you get 1 divided by whatever, it won't be 0. It will be near 0, and it's above 0. So that's why you get a line like this. And the bigger the number, the closer to 0 it will get, but it won't get to 0. It will stay positive all the time. Okay, so when you get nearer to the 0, it goes, well, this whole thing will get bigger. Now let's investigate what happens when x is in the negative realm. So if you look at this here, let's put x in. So let's put minus 2 into the x. So it will look like this: 1 over minus 2. Okay, so this is our minus 2 here. So we are putting this minus 2 into here. Okay. Well, this is actually like this one over here. It's actually like this. But the only difference is that well, you would get 1 divided by 2 as normal, which is 0.5. But because there's 1 negative, then we're going to have a negative. So over here it's 1 divided by 2 as normal, which is 0.5. It's positive here, but over on this side is, well, it's going to be minus 0.5, minus 0.5. Now let's look at minus 4 here. So if you put 1 over negative 4 into here, okay, so this here exists in a bubble here, and then over on this side here it's 1 over 4. So really it's the same thing, but alright, 1 divided by 4 would be 0.25, just like over here. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25, but the thing is you've got 1 negative here, so this will be a negative. So it's really the same as this, but it's going to be negative. So wait then, what is 2.5? Okay. So now I'm just going to copy this bit now, and then but just stick a negative in there. So it's 0.17. 8 would be minus 0.125, and then 10 will be negative 0.1. Okay, so let's try and plot this now. So when x is minus when x is minus 2 here, this will be minus 0.5. So when x is 2, it will be here. Okay. Okay. This is going to be hard to. Wait there. Let me do something first. I'm just going to tidy up this grid. I'm going to erase it so you can see what's going on. Wait there. Okay. Okay. So this is minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, 8, minus 10. Okay. So hang on. Yeah. So when x is negative 2, y will be negative 0.5. That's why it's here. Okay, when when x is negative 4, y will be negative 0.25, 0.25. So something like this. Oh, well, hang on. It should be minus 4. When x is minus 4, it will be negative 0.25. So again, it gets smaller, and then here it's going to get smaller. It's going to get even smaller, but it's still a well. It, it, okay. Let's try and investigate what happens when you make x really big, but in the negative realm. Okay, so just like over here, when we looked at 1 over a really big number, let's say 999. The overall answer would be 0.000 something. Okay. My point is here is if you make x really big, this overall thing would be really small. But it's a positive small. That's why it's a positive answer. But if you try and do it on this side here, let's put a really big number, but a really big number on the negative side. So let's have a look at negative 999. So you would do the same thing, 1 over negative 999, and it turns out to be okay. Let's try and do this. You would get 1 divided by 999 equals equals 0.001 what 0 well, okay, let's just leave it as that, as 0.00 whatever, and then here you've got one negative here, so the overall thing will be a negative small number. So my point here is that just like over here, you're going to get a positive small number. Well, over here you're going to get a really small number, but it happens to be a negative. Look at this here. It's a negative small number. So this line here will look something like this. As oh, okay, it's actually going to be something like this. Just like over here, just like up here, but because if you make this really big, but in the negative side, this over here it will get near to 0, but on the negative side, 1 over a really big number here, it will get this number. Let's make it 9999 here. This whole thing here would be really small, but because there's only one negative, it will be a really small negative number. That's why it hovers just below the 0. Okay, and just like over here, if you're trying to investigate y equals 1 over x, and then you put a really small negative number into the x here, you're going to get a really big negative x. So for example, let's have a look at this here. Y equals 1 over x. Now, if you choose an x value where it's really close to the 0, but it's on the negative side, okay, so it has to be something like this. 1 over, let's say 0.00012, let's say a really small number close to x, but it happens to be on the left hand side, a negative side. Okay, so I'm trying to choose a number that's really close to 0, but on the negative side. That's why. So so I'm choosing this random number here. So what will this whole thing be? Well, this whole thing here will be a really big number, but then it has to be it would be a negative big number. So if you try and do this in a calculator, hang on, 1 divided by, let's just do 1 divided by 0.00012 as normal, and then we stick a negative in there after. So divided by 0.00012, it should be a big number. 8,333, say. But hang on, this thing here will be 8,333, and it will be a negative point something. Okay, but my point here is that when you choose a value that's really close to 0, an x value close to 0, but on the negative side, this thing here will be really big, but it's a negatively big. So what that means is it's a really big, negatively big, if that makes sense. So it will go all the way down here. So the closer you get to 0, the bigger this thing this thing will be. So overall, okay, a graph of 1 over x, a graph of y equals 1 over x will look something like this. Okay, it will look something like this. Yeah, and something weird happens at 0. 0, just accept it. Something weird happens at 0 for the time being. Okay, but if you choose a number just on the right hand side here, this will be really big. Okay, this will be really big. But if you choose a number that's really close to 0, but on the negative side, this will be negatively big. Okay, so and then if you choose, well, it's going to get to near 0 as you increase x in this direction, and this, but it's on a negative side. And then if you increase x, well, anyway, the graph of y equals 1 over x will look like this. Okay,